We're 9 days into fermentation, and it's time for an update on this beginner mead recipe. Just to recap, I did 2 batches of Joe's Ancient Orange, which is arguably the most popular beginner mead recipe. Did them both exactly as written, except the batch on the right, I'm using nutrients. My nutrient of choice is Fermate O, but use whatever nutrient you can find, because it does make a difference. Without nutrients, the yeast produced various off flavors that are undesirable and can take a very long time to age out. We zoom in and take a close look. Both of them look pretty similar. You can see the bubbles of fermentation going on. Some people ask me about the slime they see on the top. This is completely normal. If you look at my video here, compared to what you've got going on, and you see that, don't worry at all. It's just some proteins and yeast. It doesn't look appetizing, but this is looking very good. Now, if we look at the bottom of the fermenters, this is where we do see a difference. The line of sediment and yeast has dropped down quite a bit on the right compared to the one on the left. When we first started, it was maybe 1.5 inches high. Now we're down to maybe just below an inch. If you notice in my second video, I didn't really blend this so well for all the honey to dissolve. So some of that at the bottom is honey. But like I said, the yeast is going to find that honey. That white you see, that line of white, that's all yeast. And that's just going to work its way down as it metabolizes everything. One of the most common questions I get is, when is this all going to be done? When can I drink it? The proper way to know when it's finished is to use a hydrometer. These are maybe $10-12 at your homebrew supply or Amazon. It measures how much sugar is left in the mead. We know it's done when the yeast is done consuming the sugar. Now, sticking with the recipe, I did not take a gravity reading at the beginning. But that would have been really helpful information to know, because then we could kind of guess at whether it's going to be sweet or semi-sweet or even dry. Right now we can just wait and see what happens. When I think it's done fermenting, I will take a gravity reading to show all of you how it's done. You pull a sample and you drop it in that cylinder and see where it's at. And when the gravity reading is consistent over 3-4 days or so, then you can assume that it's done fermenting and you can transfer it or go ahead and bottle. I'm going to transfer each of these into a separate carboy so that I can kind of keep all this material out of it when I bottle. I know the recipe says don't touch it for 2 months, but this might be the first rule I'm going to break. I'm going to give it a taste test in about a week, and then we'll give you some more info on how this is doing.